Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today we are talking to Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Once again, as you do know, they did sign Shaq Leonard. I brought this up a little bit in yesterday's video, but now we're going into more of an in-depth look on the Shaq Leonard signing, why he did sign with the Eagles over the Dallas Cowboys, and what the effect he will bring to this team. So, we're just going to get right into it. But before we get right into it, guys, make sure you guys subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, Leonard Great Vlogs. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cog Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. Just filmed the latest edition of the CR7 podcast today. Make sure you guys go check that out on WSJP's YouTube. And make sure you guys go find me on Twitter at Ryan the Great Podcast. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the video and let's roll that intro. Won't it be Ryan the Great? And today, oh hell yeah! Well, it's not that hard to understand if you know anything about football. Touchdown! A touchdown! Philly! And the Phillies walk it off! Alright, let's get right into the video. So starting off with my very first question, as we always do, what does this mean for Shaq Leonard? Well, now he can get on a contender, he can try and help the Eagles win a championship, but I do have to pose one question with a question. Is he washed? That question does have to be posed because obviously if he wasn't washed, he wouldn't have been cut by the Indianapolis Colts, and they obviously believe that he is a washed player. I think obviously those neck injuries and the multiple surgeries that he did have to have do play effect in the reason that he maybe did not play up to par of what the Indianapolis Colts did want him to play as. I don't really think the Colts gave him much of a chance. He didn't get too much playing time. He wasn't very a key figure on key downs, like third downs for example. And they just didn't really seem to believe in him this season or the times that he was in there after his surgeries. So it is what it is. There was a time where he was probably the best linebacker in the NFL. Now he can play on a team that does not have the best linebacker core, and they were banged up at linebacker. So this probably was the best move for him based on the fact that the Eagles don't have the best linebacker core. He's going to get playing time, which I will talk about in just a few moments. So what does this mean for the Philadelphia Eagles? Well, I think the Eagles need him a little more than the Cowboys do. Obviously, the Cowboys do have Leighton Vander Esch injured for the entire season, but that's pretty much a given already. He's always injured, so the Cowboys definitely are prepared for that happening. Once again, they had the personnel to do it. They didn't really need him. Obviously, it would have been great to get him, obviously, because of the fact of what he brings to the table. But they ultimately didn't need him. The Eagles need him a little bit more. They are hurt right now at linebacker. Your linebackers that you do have are not the best tacklers. Nicholas Morrow, I do understand that he had 100 total tackles last season, but has not looked like the tackler that he once was. With the Chicago Bears, Christian Ellis, you're just kind of throwing him out there in the Wolves, with no direction, to be honest. He doesn't get too much playing time as it is. And Zach Cunningham's out with a hamstring injury, so we'll have to see what happens when he gets back. We'll see if he can play at the level of production that he was playing at. And now, teams are able to block at the second level against us because of the fact that Cunningham is out with that injury. And I think that is a big problem right there, the fact that teams are able to run the football on us ever since Zach Cunningham was able to get injured. Obviously, that was with Christian McCaffrey a few weeks ago, or just a few days ago, and with Josh Allen just a week ago. They were able to run the football because of some injuries on our defensive line and our linebacker core. And Zach Cunningham was the man injured. So bringing in Shaq Leonard to be a tackler would not be that bad. Also, he's a very underrated player in pass coverage. I mean, anybody could be better than Nicholas Morrow, giving up 130 yards. God knows why they had him on Deebo Samuel. That's just stupid to me. But yeah, he's a very underrated pass defender in my opinion, and I think he will be able to help us with the tight end spot, something that we have struggled with this season. We're one of the worst teams in the NFL defending the tight end spot. So I think, signing him gives us that advantage there. And I think that it's going to take him a little bit to get adjusted because obviously he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Obviously, going to get adjusted with the playbook. The Eagles just had their first day back today. I'm sure he was practicing with the team, getting used to what the plays are, this, that, and the other, getting used to his defense. It's going to take him a little while to sink in. I highly doubt he'll be, a really big impact against the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, the same thing happened with Kevin Byard. He was not an immediate impact, but he definitely showed his bright side against the Kansas City Chiefs and hasn't looked too bad ever since. So I think it'll take him a little bit to get adjusted, but this was obviously a great move. For the Philadelphia Eagles, they obviously need this. They do have to use him because one of the reasons that he decided to part ways with Indianapolis is because of the fact that he wasn't getting too much playing time. So we just have to make sure that he is playing for most of the time, give him that chance that he ultimately wants, and it will be a recipe for success. Yeah, that'll do it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother Leonard Great Vlogs. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my second channel at Ryan the Cog Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on next at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Ryan the Great Podcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.